Imagine a scenario where the worst teachers in the entire country are gathered to teach at one school. Now, think about the plight of the poor students who have to endure this chaos. That's exactly what unfolds in today's story. Right from the start, we are introduced to a school notorious for its abysmal annual results, setting the stage for a series of hilarious and unpredictable events. The result of this school was so bad that only 12% of the students passed. With this problem, the meeting was going on with the principal's academy inspector. The principal was not able to understand the reason for this bad result. He had hired the best teachers in the city, but still such a bad result came. Even the school kids were not so stupid. Then how did this happen? This was out of everyone's understanding. Now the thing had come to the point that if even this year 50% of the children did not pass, then the trustee will stop giving money and the school will be locked. To prevent this from happening, he came up with a scheme that no one had tried before. He decided to employ the worst teachers in the country. After this, the country's most dangerous teachers entered the school. All these teachers looked more like circus models. Now came the first day of all this, in which Mrs. Gladys took the first class. As soon as she came, she started hitting the kids with a chalk. Actually, more than teaching, the kids enjoyed hitting the holes. There was a boy named Bullard in the class who always reached late. But as soon as he was late for Mrs. Gladys's class, he was attacked. Seeing his new teacher's behavior, the whole class went crazy. After that, it was Cutty's turn. He is actually so lazy that he reached 20 minutes late and sat for 10 minutes to tell the class about his name. After that, he went out to smoke and sat outside until the period was over. After this, we see his history teacher named Polycon, who accidentally reached another class where the German teacher was teaching. Polycon also told him to sit comfortably as a student. He liked Napoleon so much that the rest of the history screwed up. I will teach about Napoleon. After a while, the German teacher stood up and explained to him that, "Sir, this is not a history class, you have come to the wrong place and I am not a student, I am a teacher." Polygon was embarrassed and went out to apologize. Then during lunch, Polygon and that German teacher were having an eye contact. During the gym class, his new teacher forced all the children to climb trees. And when a lot of kids got hurt, he said, "There will be a lot of problems in life like this. Face them bravely, kids." Okay. Now it was the turn of Miss Amina's class. Seeing her, the boys forgot to blink their eyes. And when the madam turned, they fell to the ground. Bollard once again reached late in the class, and was left speechless after seeing the new teacher. After this, in the philosophy class, his new teacher put his coat on a child's head and said that from today this coat is a hanger. In short, he made a stupid joke, wasted the whole period and left. After this, the chemistry class started. His new teacher Albert doesn't consider himself less than Einstein. Can you see him? Albert tried to show the kids a scientific experiment, but don't know what he mixed in it, that there was smoke in the whole room. When the school was over, Polycon met the German teacher, and once again apologized for his mistake. He picked up the teacher in his lap, because he didn't know how to talk to girls. These 7 teachers taught the children in strange and poor ways all week. And at the end of the week, there was a crowd of parents complaining to the school. Someone was saying that the chemistry teacher burned my child's bag. On the other hand, our cheap PT sir would break the bones of the children and send them home. Tired of all this, the principal called the academy inspector directly. But he didn't care about the school at all. He only advised to keep the worst teachers in the country. But due to his behavior, the principal doubted that there's definitely something fishy here. The next day, the principal decided to take the matter into his own hands. First of all, He stuck the chalks on the table so that Gladys couldn't hit anyone. When Gladys threw the duster and hit him, he came back because of the spring in it and hit him directly on the face. When Lazy Sir's class came, he took out his picnic chair to rest. But then there were explosions under him. And when he started finishing the class before time, the sound came from the speaker of the principal behind the clock. "It's not time yet, get studying quietly, 10 minutes are left." Then it was Policon's turn, who didn't talk about anything other than Napoleon. That's why the principal put another chapter on the projector in his class, so that he could remember what to teach. Einstein of the poor. I mean, it was amazing in the period of our chemistry teacher. The principal locked all the chemicals apart from the water so that they don't blow up the whole school. There were a lot of kids in Aminam's class, but the focus was always on them. So the principal removed the heater in the class that now we will have to wear clothes. On the other hand, Polygon was still in the process of seducing the German teacher. The other teachers advised him that whenever he goes to him, he should become a tough boy. If you do this, the girl will fall in love with you. Polygon really agreed. After school, he took off his shirt and started roaming around like a tough boy. When he asked the German teacher to go on a date, he clearly refused, seeing his new look. Finally, the year was about to end and all the teachers were very upset because the principal was not able to do what he wanted. When the officer came to inspect the school, he told him all his problems. The officer said that the principal is interfering too much in the teachers' work. And now the teachers have complete freedom to teach as they want. Now they had fun. Polygon himself used to praise him as Napoleon. He was just lying down comfortably. He was not studying in the class, he was on vacation in Goa. In Gladys's class, when the bowler pulled a girl's hair, the girl screamed. But our crazy teacher cut the girl's hair. Because when there is no braid, what will you pull? When all the teachers had their own will, the principal could not do anything. On the other hand, even in the chemistry class, the cheap Einstein so used to say something and keep blowing up. The philosophy teacher told all the children to take off their clothes and roam around so that they can understand the real form of nature. When no animal in the world wears clothes, then why should we wear it? Gradually, the children of the surrounding neighborhood also came to know about these strange teachers. Who makes bombs without explosives, and to join the class without clothes, the children outside also started coming secretly. Gradually, so many children started coming that there was no place to stand in the class. It was like there was a party going on in the school. It felt like there was a vegetable market in the school. All our teachers were becoming famous. But Polygon was still dreaming of getting a German teacher. Once he became a prince on a horse and came to steal his heart. But his plan backfired because the poor horse ran away. Now the exams were about to start soon, so the children outside were told not to come. All the children were given a mock test so that they know how much they are prepared. But looking at the results, it turned out that this time it was even worse. According to the mock test, only 3% of the students will be able to pass this time. The teachers couldn't understand what to do and what to say. The principal called the academy inspector in anger and said that the technique of keeping bad teachers did not work at all. Then it was revealed that the inspector never wanted this method to work. He wanted every student in the school to fail, so that he could remove the principal from work and become the principal himself. He knew that these teachers would not be able to study at all. That's why he kept them at work. On the other hand, Polycon heard all this and ran to tell the other teachers. When he found out that he was considered the worst teacher in France, he decided to prove everyone wrong. Polycon made a plan that they should steal the papers and give them to the children. Because otherwise children would not be able to study so soon. And then everyone together started making a plan to execute this task. They even practiced to save themselves from the bullets of the security guards. Finally, that day came and all the teachers joined the riots taking place outside the minister's office. When the police were chasing people, Gladys lay down and no one noticed her. Gladys and Couture started guarding outside the office, while the rest of his companions entered the office. Amina distracted the guards with her beauty, and in the meantime, the teachers reached the room where the papers for the upcoming exams were lying. But now the point was how to open the safe in which the papers were kept. Couture used his brain and put the date of the minister's election in black. And finally the safe opened. After this, all the children had another mock test. The teachers tried a lot to tell the important question, but later it was found that they had stolen the papers of small children by mistake. But still, their hard work had a lot of effect on the hearts of the children. Now only 2 weeks were left before the final exams started and everyone's hope was dead. He took his resignation and went to the principal because he can't get the kids to pass whatever he does. He had completely given up. When he was leaving the school, the German teacher showed him a mirror, that he should not run away from difficulties, but should face them like Napoleon. Hearing this, Polychon realized that he should not lose hope. Hearing this, Polychon got up with enthusiasm and stood on the roof and told all the teachers and children. He told the story of Napoleon and gave him the courage to study with all his might. After that day, the philosophy teacher started teaching the children with a peg so that his mind was a little clear. In Gladys's class, the children started wearing helmets so that no one got hurt. 3 months later, the results came and everyone was surprised because this time 49% of the students passed. But the figure was still less than 50%, which means the teachers were unsuccessful and the school had to be shut down. On the other hand, the academy inspector was celebrating his victory by drinking alcohol, and he told his master the truth about his plan. In this bad time, the principal suddenly received a letter that changed the time and emotions in a moment. It was written that because Bolad was failing continuously for many years, he was expelled from school. One of the failed children was reduced, that is, 50% of the children had passed. A wave of happiness ran all around and everyone started dancing with Bolad on their shoulders. After this, all the teachers were allowed to leave the school and go somewhere else. But they decided to stay here and teach the rest of the kids. The academy inspector's plan failed and finally our Polychon also convinced the German teacher, and this moved